Hang on. Let's draw our triangular prism. Okay. Now I said year 8 that we can find the volume of a cube or a rectangular prism by taking the length times the breadth times the height. So if we're thinking about that in terms of the cornflakes box, right? What you're really doing is you're taking the area of that face, the face that is kind of repeated throughout the whole shape. So for example, this rectangle. You're taking the area of this rectangle and you're multiplying it by the height. Does that make sense? Yeah? So we can do that with the triangular prism. And what I might do, in fact, is I'll draw it in a different way so it's a bit clearer that that's what we're doing. Right? So if you draw the triangular prism like this, how should I do this? How's that? Does that look like a triangular prism to you guys?
The other one tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah, so what is that? Can you go back to how you drew it?
Okay. All right. We'll do it back the other way. I tried. Is that better? Okay. So, what's the shape that's being repeated throughout the whole thing? It's the triangle, right? So rather than just kind of doing a hypothetical triangle, we mentioned. So why don't we get a Toblerone out? So we'll get the Toblerone out. And we'll take this Toblerone, and I'll eat it later. You guys don't get to eat it. So.
Yeah, definitely not already.
I've measured this one out actually. I've measured this one out. This measurement here is about 15 centimeters. What other lengths do we need?
You need the height and the length.
The length this way, okay. This is about 70 centimeters.
Whoa, big change.
And this is about,
36. Oh, that's.
this one's 10.
Oh,
Wow.
Have a go at finding the volume now. What we realize is what we can do for these shapes which are a bit stranger, which we can't really fit cubes inside, we can take the area of the face that's repeated throughout the whole thing, which we decided was this triangle here, and then multiply it by the kind of length, right? We call this the height. We call this the height for a prism. So, first of all, what is the area of this face here? How do I work that out?
So the area 10 times 15.
10 times 15?
Yeah, it's 150.
Is that it? Yeah?
But you
No?
have to times it by half.
Ah, okay. So we have to multiply it by half.
Which means
What is that?
75.
75?
And then we times it by 70.
Okay. So then, now our volume formula, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say our volume. Thank you. Our volume is going to be the area. Now the area, when I say the area, it's the area of this face here, multiplied by the height of the prism. And now I know it's drawn this way, but imagine if your Toblerone box was kind of like this, right? The height of the prism. It's the shape that's going throughout the whole thing, and that's going to be 70. So I'll take 75.
Times 7?
Yeah, that's right. 75 times 70.
5,250.
5,250. Is that the answer?
And
Yeah? Is that what we got? Got a question?
Well, so do like each number times itself.
Yeah?
Like, and then 60 you have to divide it by 2, and then get total and then divide.
Yeah, okay. So the beauty about mathematics is that there's a few different ways you can do it. And multiplication, right? The order doesn't matter with multiplication. So if you prefer to multiply all of these together and then divide by 2, right? Will you get the same answer?
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Well, try it. Why don't you try it for me?
I already have.
Try it. Try it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do 15.
Correct. So you have to write centimeters squared.
That's right. I was waiting for that one. Centimeters. What kind of units? Cube.
15. You have.
Hang on, Jackson's doing it for us. Jesse's doing it for us. I keep doing that.
And then you
Sorry, just wait for Jesse to do it
2,
first.
which equals. Oh no, it doesn't.
So it does work. Okay. So here's the thing here, right? It doesn't actually matter which way you do it. The reason why I've got you to do it like this, though, is because when you do more complex problems, you're going to have more and more steps. So if you can break them up like this, okay, just to show the person who's reading it, they know what's going on, that's the only reason why I've done that. If you prefer, I don't mind if you do it on one go. Is that fair? Is that fair? More, and then you're going to do the rest yourselves? So sometimes they'll be nice, and they'll give you the area of the face, so it's quite easy to find, right? The triangle. We've done that many times. What have I got here? I've got our math mug. Yeah, I've got our maths mug. what information do I need to find the volume of this shape?
The radius.
I do need the radius. Do I have that?
Yeah.
I do. So I'll write that down. The radius is 3.
Right. Jesse, is that a calculator? Jesse, he's not on his
That's all right. No, I believe him. He's a good boy. Our radius is 3. What other information do we need? The height. And we have that. That's 12. What I don't have, though, year 8, is that I usually need, remember, our new formula is that we've got the area times the height. I've got the height there, but I don't have the area of the face. So what's the face that's being repeated throughout this whole thing, by the way?
The surface area of the circle. No, not the surface area. The area of the circle.
Yeah, so the circle here is, you can see, you can think about it as a type, almost like a type of prism. Strictly, it's not a prism because prisms need kind of like straight edges, right? But it's a form, right? Because you've got that circle, and it's being repeated throughout the whole shape. So I'm going to take this same idea, I'm going to say, all right, what's the area of this face? And I'm going to multiply by the, what? The height. Yeah. What is the area of this face?
28.27.
Oh, how'd you get that there?
So that is pi times 3 squared.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're combining. Can you see here? We're combining all this information, right? So the area of the face first. Now, like Sophie, she knows what I was about to say. Like Sophie realized, okay, we can do this all in one go. But the only reason why I'm doing this is so you can see what I'm doing. Does that make sense why I'm doing that? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that helpful for you guys? Yeah. Rather than just writing it all in one. If you're confident, you can do it all in one. So we've got pi times the radius squared, pi r squared. And I might just leave that so I don't have any nasty decimals yet. And then the volume is going to be, well, what is the volume going to be?
The surface area times height.
Yeah, so be careful when you're saying surface area, because surface area is something else. It's kind of like the total outside bit, right?
Area of the circle.
Yeah, the area of the face. That's what I'm talking about with the A, right? So I've got pi times, I can write that 3 squared is 9 maybe, times the height, which is 12. Okay. Yen, can you put that in your calculator for me? Pi times 9 times 12.
Wait, how'd you get 9?
3 squared. Yeah, if you want to write that. I'll leave it as 3 squared if that's... Oh, listen up, guys. 339.29. Is that to 2 decimal places? 29? Yeah, we'll do 2.
Maybe it should be 3. It should
2 decimal places?
3 because
Okay, then that's fine. Yeah. All right. Any questions, Momo? Yeah.
Is it still right if you write like 36 pi centimeters cubed?
Okay, so let's come back here, Knight. Really good question. So you've written this, 36 pi cubic centimeters. Is that what you wrote?
36 is wrong. Because
Why have you... Oh, yeah. 9 times... What is 9 times 12? That's... Did you mean 108?
Yeah.
Okay.
108
Okay.
pi.
Can you tell me why you've decided to write it like that?
Because you don't have to write all the decimal places.
Okay.
It's like the most accurate.
Yeah. So when you put in your calculator, you'll get lots more decimal places than 2. You should always write to do decimal places. Okay. What Momo's done is she said, I don't like decimal places. I'm just going to write it as 108 pi. Now, what does it mean when I have a number next to a symbol? What does that usually mean? It usually means times, right? And in fact, this way, they may often ask you to write it in this way. It's actually called an exact value. And the reason why they say that is because this is actually more accurate than this one, because you see this one I've rounded it off. This one I've just left it as it is. Okay? Either way is actually fine. Actually, sorry, I should rephrase. Depending on the way they've asked you, if they've said to round to 2 decimal places, you need to do it like that moment, yeah? If they don't say, this way is actually preferred. Okay? Really good observation. And in fact, yeah, this one's more accurate as well.
You could just do both.
You could do both if you want to. That would be really good. You've done really well today, Yura. Do you guys have any questions for me? Or no? Yes, Matt. What about the handle? That's a good question. You can find that out for me. You can find it.